My name is Cherie Cavins, and we're doing a debate about the Death with Dignity Act, which was passed in 1994. And this is my boyfriend, and he is for it, and I'm against it. So tell me why you are for this act.
Basically, I'm for it because I feel like if you have a terminal illness and you are laying in a bed and you're gonna die and there's no two ways around it, I don't think you should have to lay there and suffer through the pain for the next few weeks. And I think it's your life, and if you don't want to lay there and be in that pain, I don't think you should have to be.
Okay, well, what if there was opportunities out there like hospice and palliative care and rehabilitation centers that allowed you to go on comfort measures that you were not in pain, but you died and passed away whenever the time was right?
Well, I think that the Death by Dignity Act doesn't really encompass that. I think that a hospice program is for someone who is, they're basically comforting you as you die. If the patient isn't in pain, then that's a different story. If they have years to live, that's a different story. But I think if you have, less than a month, I mean, miracles do happen. I see what you're saying, but I think you have a right to decide what you want to do with your life. I mean, it's your life. You can do with it what you want. I don't think anyone should have to just lay there and be in pain all the time if they don't want to be.
So obviously it's a huge uproar. But I'm a nursing student, so I've seen a lot of miracles happen, and I do have religious views. And if we look at it through the religious views, or the Ten Commandments, which says that thou shalt not kill, which is my view, which I do believe in, and I do believe that technology and things are constantly improving and things are constantly changing. So even though a patient might be diagnosed with a disease and only gives them 2 weeks to live, there might be something tomorrow that might allow the patient to live an extra few years, which might give the family more time to spend with the family. So in this case, what if I was diagnosed with the disease and I only had 1 week to live? Would you want me to wait a little bit to see if there was possibly a cure and maybe go on comfort measures just to make sure that I was not in pain, just so that I could be with you longer? Or would you want me to go ahead and go with a physician or giving me and prescribing me a pill that I could take at any point in my life, which could be in a few days, a few weeks, and kill myself overnight without you knowing? Because that's what some people do. They kill themselves without their significant other knowing. So you wouldn't even have time to say goodbye to me.
Well, that sounds like a terrible relationship, first off. But in that situation, I think that, I mean, if it was you, I would definitely support you in whatever you wanted to do. If you felt like, you were, I agree with it on the pain aspect. Things do happen, and you can come up with treatments and things like that every day, and new things do happen, but I just don't see a medical breakthrough happening in a week for something that they've been studying for the past 50 years. If you're in that much pain and that's something that you want to do, I would much rather you be in a better place than to see you lay there and not be able to move your hand for the next week or 2 weeks or whatever it is.
So you don't think that, so you would think that I should just go ahead and give up on myself, and if I was diagnosed with the disease, you think that I should go ahead and just give up and take the pill?
That's your choice.
Okay, well, there have been many cases that I've had patients in the hospital that have been diagnosed, and the doctor's only given them 2 weeks to live. They have cancer that has, and it's been the size of a grapefruit sitting right in the middle of their chest, and the roots have wrapped around all their organs, and they've given them 2 weeks to live and pretty much told them to go ahead and say goodbye to their family. So at this point, the family did have religious views, and all they did was put it into God's hands. And I do believe that whenever it's your time to pass in this world, God will take you whenever it's time. But in this case, they did find a chemo that actually treated the cancer, and with time, it just shrunk all the rooted cancer that was around the organs in the body, and it just took a little bit of time. And even though it was a time-consuming process, he ended up living, which he still to this day is living. So instead of giving up, he fought, and there was a cure. So before you just go ahead and have a physician prescribe you a medication, I think you need to try medications or chemo treatments or something to see if it's actually going to shrink the cancer or help you before you just give up on yourself.
I see it as a last resort type of thing. Yeah, I don't think that, I kind of agree with you. I don't think that they should just hand you this pill that's going to end your life. And, if you're having a bad day and you get up to go to the bathroom one day and it hurt you to go to the bathroom, I don't think you should just pop the pill and die right there. But I agree with it being a last resort option. It's not like, I don't think they should lay options out in front of you like, we can do this treatment, we can do this treatment, we can put you on this, or you can kill yourself. Like, that's not how I see it. I see it more of a last resort thing. Like, we've tried this, we've tried that, you are declining every day, and there's nothing left to do, because that's real. I mean, that's real life to me. That's what happens.
But you cannot just be like, instead of just like letting you pass peacefully whenever the time is right, why not just wait it out? Why not just like go on comfort measures, or if you want to prescribe like certain types of pain medication or something to be comfortable, then why not just take those medication and pass whenever the time is right? Why, instead of just taking a pill and knowing, okay, I just took this pill and I'm gonna die overnight. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you my goodbye. Like, would you want me to tell you, okay, honey, I'm sitting right here with you, and after I take this pill and we go to sleep tonight, I'm not gonna wake up. Like, this is it. Instead of me going on comfort measures and me fighting for my life so that you can spend more time with me, I'd have this pill sitting in my hand and I'd just take it and I'd be like, this is it. This is the last time you're gonna sleep in bed with me. How would you feel?
I feel like it's, again, a last resort thing. If you have the option to be comfortable and you can go and take medications to keep you comfortable until you pass naturally, then if you're comfortable doing that, and you aren't in pain and you're not physically feeling like you're dying every second of the day, that's different. I'm for it whenever the pain medications don't help, because that's a real life scenario. There's people out there that are laying in their bed and there's not a pain medication that can touch it. I mean, they're essentially in a coma. I mean, they would have to be in a coma before there was no pain. And if you've already been through, say, your chemo and all the treatments that are, out there available to you at the time, and I think it's different if you have, say, if they're like, well, you have a year. Well, that's different than a week. But I think that, personally, I've seen it more than once in my life, whether it be with my family or, even a friend. Like, whenever someone decides that they want to die, they're going to die. And if somebody's laying in a hospital bed and they decide, well, I'm gonna die, I'm ready to go. When someone's ready to go, you can fight and you can fight and you can fight. But whenever you are at peace with yourself and you are fine with going and you're in the place where you need to be religiously and you're ready to go, you're gonna go.
Right, whenever the time is right, whenever God has a plan for you and he thinks the time is right. Not by a medically prescribed pill from a physician, which brings me to my next point. I do believe that is part of pretty much murdering another person. You prescribing a medication to somebody for them to kill themselves, which I think
they don't shove it down their throat.
Right, they don't, but they're prescribing it and giving this person this pill.
They're giving them the ability.
Which is pretty much killing them, in my point of view. It's pretty much killing them. And I don't agree with it at all. I do not agree with it. But like I said, I'm a fighter. I'm going to fight till the end. And I care about everyone around me. And I want to be alive for as long as possible, even if I was committed or diagnosed with the disease. And there might be days that might be more painful than others if I did have a disease, but I still would fight each and every day. And I might have good days, great days, amazing days, and I might have horrible days, but...
So what if you have 10 horrible days in a row and you're just over it?
I just have to keep fighting. I will have an awesome support system. I know that I would have...
What if you don't want to keep fighting? What if you're over it?
I wouldn't give up. If I was over it, then I would just pray about it.
Not everybody's like you.
And if I was
Not
over
everybody
it...
prays.
That's right. Right, they don't. They don't, and I think that's why the people that are for it or that believe in this, I don't think that they have a strong religious view or like that type of aspect or the whole like miracles or God taking you whenever the time's right. And I think that that's where it comes from, or the fact that I've been in many hospital settings. So I've worked at the hospital for almost, I guess, 4 years, 5 years, and I've seen things like this happen all the time. And I've seen cures for patients that had no chance of living at all. And there's cures out there because they kept fighting. And I've also seen patients whenever they've laid in bed and said, I am ready to go. I want to go be with my wife in heaven. I'm ready to go. And you know what? Whenever they're finally at peace in the hospital bed and they said they wanted to come off their tube feedings and they wanted to eat whatever food meals they wanted and they wanted to stop taking their pain medication and just be comfortable, then the patient just eventually passed. But, I mean, they didn't take a pill and kill themselves. They passed whenever the time is right, which brings me to my next point, because if you want to go by following the Bible and the 10 Commandments and thou shalt not kill, if you're killing yourself, then are you actually, whenever you pass, are you going to go to heaven or are you going to go to hell? If you took a medication to kill yourself and you believe in God and the 10 Commandments...
What if you don't believe in God? I mean, I know you do. As a nurse, you believe that kind of thing and you're going to pray for somebody. But what if you don't believe in God? I mean, what if you don't have a faith? I don't think religion really has anything to do with it.
I think it has everything to do with it.
I guess that's where the debate
and
happens.
Technology. And, yeah.
Some people just don't believe in that kind of thing. And some people are just going to lay there and they're just going to hurt and they're ready to go. And I think if they want to go, you should let them go. If there's a family there and the family, agrees with it and they're saying, yeah, I mean, he's ready to go and he's going to be laying here for the next 2 or 3 weeks, why prolong it? I mean, I'm just a believer in not prolonging things if you don't want to or if you don't have to. If you want it over with, you want it over with. If you're in pain every day and you've tried everything and you're just sitting there getting meds pumped into you and you know your time is coming and you just don't want to lay there and hurt for the rest of your days, I don't think you should have to. I think that's a choice that you should be able to make on your own.
Alright, that is our debate over the Death of Dignity Act. We clearly have 2 separate views.